Hi my couples, and welcome back to my channel where I share wedding tips with you every week on how to plan your wedding. This week we are talking about wedding rehearsal dinners, and we are talking about when to book it, who's invited, and who's paying, so stay on tune to get all of those answers. Alright, so first things first, you want to book your wedding rehearsal dinner about 4 months out from the actual wedding. You're also booking this for the night before the wedding. That's normally when your rehearsal dinner will actually take place, and your wedding rehearsal as well. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is who is paying. Traditionally, it used to be the groom's parents that would pay for the wedding, just because traditionally the bride's parents would pay for the wedding. However, we all know that it's 2020 and everything is literally blown out the window. So it really just depends on your case. You can ask your parents, are you guys gonna chip in for the rehearsal dinner? Especially if you as the couple are paying for the wedding, which was my scenario. My husband and I, we paid for our wedding ourselves. So you just wanna make sure, you have everyone who's contributing and, making sure that you have a budget. So timing of rehearsal. When do you do this and what time? So your rehearsal for the actual ceremony will normally take place the day before the wedding. And then normally followed would be the rehearsal dinner. However, again, I find that there's no rules. Make them up as you go. So what we did was we were able to get into our venue space at a certain period of time the day before. And this is why you also need to check with your venue as well. Because if you are going to do your rehearsal at the actual venue, you want to make sure that one, you can get in and what time the space is available, or you may have to rehearse somewhere else on their property as well. But just make sure you do get a rehearsal in. It kind of helps everybody and calm the nerves of where am I going, what am I doing? So I find having an actual ceremony rehearsal the night before truly helps. But then after you find out what time you can get into your venue for that, then you want to go ahead and book the dinner. Or if you want to find out times from both first, and then go ahead and decide what time everything's going to be at. If you are having, say, a Saturday wedding, I know that's the most popular day of the week to have a wedding. If you are having this Saturday wedding, make sure that you are scheduling and taking into consideration things like rush hour traffic, because normally rehearsals are happening right around that time. So you just want to make sure that you're getting everyone there and that everyone can make it on time. So you want to give everyone enough time, especially if they're working that day before they're coming to the rehearsal. Just giving them adequate time to get to the actual rehearsal as well. So take that into consideration. What style should you have for your rehearsal dinner? So my personal own experience was we had a pig roast. I've always wanted to do one, and we said, what the heck, now's the time. So we did a pig roast in our at our summer house, and it was just an awesome time. Everyone kind of contributed. My husband wanted his mother to make her potato salad, so they stayed up the night before making that. So it was really just a fun time. But if you are going in a more formal setting, I always find that the rehearsal dinner should be more relaxed. It's just a nice night for everyone to kind of get to know each other, especially the wedding party and parents if they haven't met each other yet. It's just a nice time to just relax. The next day it's hectic, people. It's your wedding. So try to kind of relax a little bit the night before as much as you can. And I just recommend, kind of doing a low-key thing. But if that's not you, you can always go the plated version as well. However, I don't think that's necessary the night before. Buffet is totally chill, totally a good idea. So the next thing is who makes the guest list for the rehearsal dinner. Obviously, you as the couple are going, but then you have your parents that would be also attending the wedding party. I always recommend inviting the wedding party guests if they are bringing a guest to the wedding, because what are their guests going to do the night before while they're at the rehearsal dinner? They're just going to be sitting in the hotel room twiddling their thumbs, okay? So invite them as well, and then it's really up to you from there on out. I also invite grandparents just because courtesy, especially if they've traveled that day and they're in town the night before. It's nice to extend the invitation to them as well. Any readers that you are having during the ceremony, also invite them. Basically anyone who's participating in the ceremony, but then anyone that you feel should also be invited. I didn't extend it to aunts and uncles and all of that. It was literally just our wedding party, parents, and my nephews and nieces, just because they weren't going to be invited to the wedding. We wanted to include them on some portion, so they were invited to the rehearsal dinner. So another thing that happens at your rehearsal dinner is giving out the gifts to your wedding party. So you just, if you are going to do them, make sure that you have them that night. I suggest putting them all in one box, so it's just easy for you to carry from, you know, your house to ceremony rehearsal, and then to the restaurant. You can just put them in the car while you're rehearsing at the ceremony, and then, you know, head off to your rehearsal dinner space. And again, you're just picking up the box and moving it into the event space. The other thing that I'm going to mention, and this is the last thing, and this is going to ruffle some feathers possibly, especially among father of the brides, if you will. I recommend doing parent toasts if your parents do want to make a speech at your rehearsal dinner. And the reason is because I've seen so many times the father gets up at the wedding and he's giving this beautiful speech, and then you're looking at the bride and she is literally sobbing. One, you're in makeup. Two, especially if you just glued on eyelashes, ladies, you know how that's gonna go. So having that moment, unless dad really wants it to be a public moment and wants everyone to see it and share that speech with them, I find doing it at the rehearsal dinner is a little bit easier for the bride to handle, and the couple itself, just because it's less tears. You know, the day of is supposed to be happy and, you know, a celebration, and you're also wearing makeup. So we don't want that to run as well, ladies. So, you know, that's my tidbit on parent speeches, just doing them at the rehearsal dinner. They still get their time, you know, to shine and, you know, express how they feel about the occasion to you as the couple, but it's saving you on looking a bit dramatic in some photos, if you will. That's all I have for you guys this week on wedding rehearsals. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. If you have any ideas for content that you want me to do, again, drop them in the comments below. I do read them. I get back to everyone. And the other thing is if you are not subscribing already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you get notifications every time I post a new video. All right, have a good one, guys. TTFN.